Hi everyone. Okay, this video is going to be talking about the Wheel of the Year. The Wheel of the Year encompasses the annual cycle of the Earth's seasons. Now, Wiccans particularly and most pagans celebrate or at least are aware of the Wheel of the Year. There are 8 festivals celebrated in the Wiccan Wheel of the Year. 4 are at the equinoxes and solstices, which are sometimes known as lesser sabbats, and the greater sabbats, which fall approximately in between the lesser sabbats. So, let's go through them. Starting with Samhain, this usually falls between the 31st of October and the 2nd of November each year, when the sun is at 15 degrees in Scorpio. Yule, when the sun is 0 degrees Capricorn, so when the sun enters Capricorn, that's Yule, and that usually falls between the 19th and the 23rd of December each year. We then have Imbolc, which is usually around the first couple of days of February, when the sun is 15 degrees in Aquarius. Ostara comes next, when the sun enters Aries. That's usually around the 19th to the 23rd of March. Then we have Beltane at the beginning of May, when the sun's position is 15 degrees in Taurus. Followed by Litha, or the summer solstice, 19th to the 23rd of June, when the sun's position enters Cancer. We have Lughnasadh at the beginning of August, the 1st to the 2nd of August usually, when the sun is at 15 degrees in Leo. And Mabon, which is from the 19th to the 23rd of September normally, when the sun enters Libra. So what I want to do is just talk about the Wiccan year. Now, Wiccans see the year, and here I am. This is what I believe. When I say Wiccans believe, not every single Wiccan will, I'm sure you will all correct me on this, but not all Wiccans will obviously follow this, because it's always our individual path. But on the whole, Wiccans see the year as an ever-turning wheel and celebrate its cycles, the waning and the waxing of the moon, the changing of the seasons, progression through the houses of the zodiac, the agricultural year, the solar year, and as we've just mentioned, there are 8 Wiccan holidays which mark the stages of the Wheel of the Years. So, going back to greater sabbats and lesser sabbats. Greater sabbats are also sometimes called cross-quarter festivals, and the greater sabbats are Imbolc on usually February the 2nd, Beltane usually on the 1st of May, Lughnasadh usually on the 1st of August, and Samhain on usually Halloween the 31st of October. In between these, we have the lesser sabbats, also known as the quarter festivals. We have the spring equinox, which is Ostara. We have the summer solstice, which is Litha, and the autumn equinox, which is Mabon, and then the winter solstice, which is Yule. Let's start talking about Yule, since we're currently in December. So at Yule, the goddess gives birth to the god, the child of promise, who is reborn with the returning sun. So Yule is a joyous celebration of family and friends, peace, love, positive energy, all things that are good and wonderful. Now, some witches incorporate ancient pagan traditions into our festivities, such as Yule logs, gift giving, wassailing, mistletoe. Mistletoe is a charm at the end of the day, and bringing evergreens into the house, decorating a tree, those sorts of things. So those are good activities to be doing at Yule. Then moving on from Yule, in February we celebrate Imbolc. This is when the year is, everything's starting to speed up, and spring is approaching, the winter buds appear on the trees, and life is starting to make itself known in the frozen earth. At this point, the sun, the god, the infant sun, is growing in size and strength. It's the goddess's sun. Imbolc itself is a fire festival and a festival of lights, and is usually connected with the Irish goddess Brigid. Um, Usually, an activity to do around Imbolc is lighting candles so that the light of the candles will illuminate the darkness of the winter. And another activity is spring cleaning, of course. It's time to um, get rid of all of the old and in with the new. After Imbolc, we have Ostara. Now, Ostara is the spring equinox, so where everything is in perfect balance, light and dark are equal, everything is in perfect balance. The god is now a green youth, and the goddess is in her maiden aspect. If you're thinking about different altars, you can change up your altars, if you have any statues, change them round, make them fit the seasons of the year. Um, Between the god and the goddess, they start a courtship. Now, again, Ostara is a solar festival of fire, light, and fertility. Fertility? That's not a word. Fertility, and it is sacred to the Saxon goddess of spring, Ostara or Ostra. Ostra? I can never pronounce that. Now, normally, the customs or the activities that would be associated with Ostara are things like dyeing and painting eggs, and also balancing eggs on their ends to symbolise the balance in the world. And normally, if you're going to work magic at Ostara, it's going to be magic to do with balancing any imbalances in your life, generally. Ostara is followed by Beltane. So this is in May, and by this time, the light's grown longer, everything's flowering. The god is now a young lord, and the goddess a fertile maiden. So they will be celebrating the consummation of their relationship. So it is a fertility festival. Beltane is sacred to Maya, the Greco-Roman goddess of spring. It's a fire and a fertility festival that celebrates the transformation from maiden to mother through the mystery of sexuality. Beltane Eve is the perfect time for the Great Rite, if any of you participate in that, and witches gather dew on May morning, put flowers on their altars, leave offerings out for the fairies, and another custom is to tend to sacred places such as groves and wells. Well dressing is a good activity to do at Beltane. Following Beltane, we have the summer solstice, Litha. Again, at this point, the earth is totally in full bloom. The mother is now pregnant, and the god, the sun, is the king of summer at the peak of his powers. Litha is actually the longest day, which marks the division of the year. And so we celebrate abundance, fertility, virility, and the beauty of nature and the bounty that she provides us with. This is a great time for any hand fastings and also male rituals, and for workings of empowerment, consummation, or culmination. After Litha is Lughnasadh. Now, at Lughnasadh, the days start growing shorter, the fields are ripe with their harvest and ready, everything's ready to be harvested. At this time of the year, the Corn King is sacrificed, and mourning begins for the death of the god, i.e., the sun. Lughnasadh is the first of the Wiccan harvest festivals. Again, it's a festival of fire and light, named for the Celtic god Lugh, who is known as the Lord of Light. At this time of year, we tend to bake bread, put grain on our altars, count our blessings, give thanks to the goddess. It's time of thanksgiving and summing up. After Lughnasadh, we have Mabon, and at Mabon, this is the harvest festival. So your crops are harvested. Again, light and darkness are in balance. From a mythological perspective, the god sleeps in the womb of the goddess, waiting to be reborn. Now, Mabon is sacred to the Celtic god Mabon, who is a son of light, son of the mother goddess Modron. Now, this harvest festival is a time to enjoy the fruits of your labour, give thanks for abundance. Things that you can do around Mabon involve putting fruits of the season on your altar, baking breads, pies, those sorts of things. And again, like at Ostara, work any magic that balances any imbalances in your life. And on to the final, or perhaps however you view your year, maybe the first sabbat of the season of the year, Samhain, at the end of October. Now, this is when the harvest season closes, the days grow darker, and winter is begun. It's the beginning of winter. The goddess enters her time of sleeping, and the god, the sun, awaits his rebirth. Samhain is usually considered to be the witch's new year, and it is both a solemn and joyous occasion, and it is the night when the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest. So when you are celebrating Samhain, it can be celebrated with parties, costume parties, witches' balls, or also solemnly honouring the ancestors, contacting the departed and loved ones. So, as I say, this is just a very brief overview of a Wiccan year, a Wiccan year. This is something that I follow. This is how my year pans out for me. Not all Wiccans will obviously agree with me on everything that I've said there, but I think as a general overview, that's what it's meant to be, is just to give you a general picture. So what I will be doing over time is putting together some videos about activities, in-depth activities that you can do over the year to celebrate the sabbats, to celebrate the passage of time and the changing of the seasons. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will speak to you again soon. Take care and blessed be. Bye bye.